Dear students and distinguished audiences, welcome back to VGU Talkshow today. Innovation is the key driver of productivity and long-term growth in emerging economies. Innovation in small and medium-sized enterprise is at the core of inclusive growth strategies. More innovative SMEs are more productive, can pay better wage, and offer better working conditions to their workers. Recent development in market and technologies offer new opportunities for SMEs to innovate and grow. So what are the strategies for developing innovation in SME in Vietnam? What can Vietnam learn from other countries to develop innovation in SME? And what can Vietnamese SME to do to innovate and grow? On the question above, will be discussed and answered in the VGU Talkshow at Vietnamese-German University today with the participant of special guest. I would like to introduce Mr. Patrick Kemnes, General Director of Trump Vietnam.
Thank you. Good evening.
Yeah. I would like to introduce Mr. Huỳnh Thanh Trung, co-founder and chairman of Leanwares Vietnam.
Yeah, good evening, everybody.
And the last, the special guest, Mr. Brian O'Reilly, Academic Coordinator of Master of Business Administration Program, Vietnamese-German University.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you for being with us today. So before we enter the show, please watch a small clip about innovation in Asia.
Innovation is the beating heart of thriving economies. Some products, like mobile phones replacing landlines, bring radical change. Others, such as cost-effective water filters, might be simple, but improve countless lives. Asia and the Pacific's long-term growth depends on it becoming more innovative. Countries that manage to escape the middle-income trap invest 3 times more in research and development than those that don't escape. And they also apply for 4 times as many patents. For sure, Asia and the Pacific is already innovating. But countries are innovating at different speeds and in different ways. Korea, Singapore, and China are frontier innovators, creating unique products and services for the world. Others are catch-up innovators, tweaking existing products and services for first-time use in their home market. And the region overall still lags developed economies. So how can Asia and the Pacific become more innovative? Quality basic education for all children, creativity, critical thinking, and other soft skills must complement the technical and academic. Otherwise, the next Albert Einstein could well remain undiscovered in one of Asia's slums. Entrepreneurs, especially new firms, need encouragement through new policies or financial support. Enabling more research and development is one way. A 1% increase in per capita research and development increases innovation by 0.2% in developing Asia. And in-house training and forward-thinking managers help. Right now, companies that are bigger and that export innovate more. We must nurture the innovation gazelles so that they stand out from the herd. Conducive institutions and regulations lay the groundwork. Good rule of law, ease of doing business, and property rights smooth the way. Innovation is the future. Asia and the Pacific must embrace it or risk being left behind.
Yes, thank you. Welcome back to our talk show today. You just watched a clip about what drives innovation in Asia. I hope this clip is interesting and give you some clues about what we will talk about today. So innovation has become a trendy word in this decade in the world of business, technology, and education. Every leader agrees that it is important, but it seems that nobody can quite agree on what it actually is or what it does. Let's meet our guest today for the definition of innovation. So the first question I would like to ask Mr. Patrick Kemnes, what is your definition of innovation?
Yeah, thank you for this question. And of course, this is not easy to answer in a few sentences, but I would like to share some ideas from the practical perspective, from the industry perspective. First, I think where we all focus on when we talk about innovation is about something new. You need a new product, you need some new technology, or you need some new features. It has to be something with what is not known before. I think this is quite trivial. So, but finally, I think we need to think about how it can be a successful innovation. So you need to think, what is the customer need? We need to focus on the customer, and then we can understand what can be innovation to bring up into a market. So from industry perspective, of course, we focus on the customer need. And if I look a little bit back from the past, let's say maybe 10 years, 15 years, I think we have a certain shift into the understanding of innovation. In the past, we really based on technology, on products, on a product innovation. Today, we talk more about innovation in the whole business model. We talk about business model innovation. I think this is for most of the participants a known concept already, but I think this is also very crucial. The innovation not only comes from the technology or from the product, it can also be in the whole concept of the business model. For example, from Trump's side, I can give one example. We are a German machinery manufacturer. So we manufacture machines for the metalworking industry, for sheet metal fabrication. And many years ago, we were focusing on improving the features and on the product. This, of course, we do today as well. But we need to think about other innovations. And other innovations can be also in how to provide this technology for the customer. So our customer have different needs. And out of this, we talk today about a new business model. And the business model innovation is called pay-per-use or pay-per-hour. So we can offer our technology, our machines now also in a different way. It's not only based on the technology, it's also based on, let's say, how to provide your product or your technology to the customer. So all this comes for me together in definition from industry perspective for innovation. You need to have something new, what is not yet known. And of course, it has to bring some value to the customer. If you don't bring a value add, it is maybe something nice, I don't know how to call it, but it's not yet innovation. I think for businessmen or for industry perspective, it is important that it finally brings some value for the end user. And this usually is a customer. You want to bring some value to the end user, and then it becomes a real innovation. And also this innovation will be adopted by the people outside who is looking for that.
Thank you for your sharing, Mr. Patrick Chemnitz. So, Mr. Brian O'Reilly, what mistakes do business often make when they talk about innovation?
Well, I think I'll just relate to what Patrick was talking about was the customer. You have to build everything back from the customer. And people mix up innovation and entrepreneurship. They use the two terms. And to me, entrepreneurship or being an entrepreneur is somebody that develops an innovative business idea and actually commercializes it. In other words, turns it into a money-making exercise. And again, to do that, you have to go back to the customers. I think also people think that you have to be a big company to be able to afford innovation, but yet a lot of innovative ideas, particularly with technology, happened with quite small budgets. So it's never really too early to start thinking about how you can be innovative. The opportunities are out there. It's just a matter of being ready to take them. Doing business is difficult, but mistakes people make is to get into industries they're not familiar with, and that again can be a big risk. So I would say to people, you have to look at the opportunities in the area you've got the expertise in, and again, you're employing staff. Try and have this sort of corporate culture where everybody is involved in looking at new and different ways of doing things. And of course, like any good company, you still have to have the basics right. You have to have the these systems and processes in place. There's many other things, but I think those are some of the main things that you need to look out for to not get it wrong.
Yeah, thank you for your sharing, Mr. Brian O'Reilly. So you just hear about the definition of the word innovation and what mistake do business often make when they talk about innovation. Now let's get back with Mr. Hun Tan Trung. So what should a company do to change their perception of innovation?
Yes, and as Mr. Patrick mentioned about the client's requirement and the market, so in order to change and increase the awareness and the perception about the innovation in the SME enterprise, we can come from the competition of the market, and we can adapt from the top management, because not only the SME but also the very big company also the bankrupt and stop the business because they have never recognized and receive the change and the competition from the market and from the competitors. And so we have some interview with some the SME companies that sometimes they don't know which competition factors affect to their business. So they have no the improvement or the innovation plan to change their business currently. So in order to increase the innovation, the awareness in the SME development, SME company, so we can come from the definition, the Kaizen, and the continuous improvement, because almost of company they don't have the clarify and they don't have the definition for the Kaizen and between the Kaizen and the innovation, because they think they can improve the small things every day. That is the innovation. But for innovation, it's a very big chance to get the faster or better result, to increase the competition performance against the other companies. So we need to, in order to change the mindset and the awareness of the SME, we need to consider about the culture and from the top management in the factories and in the enterprise. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for your sharing, Mr. Hun Tan Trung. So small and medium enterprise or SMEs are widely recognized as engines of economic development. The heart, the driving change of SMEs is innovation. And digitalization accelerates the innovation process of SME. So let's back to Mr. Patrick Chemnitz. So we know that Germany is very famous about SME. We call it Mittelstand, right? And would you please share the strategy of German Mittelstand as a typical lesson of Vietnamese SME? Because we know that Mittelstand is a backbone of the Germany economic and even industry.
Yes, right. Mittelstand, is a German word, is maybe comparable to SME. These are companies in a small and medium size, not the global companies. From our perspective, Trumpf also was in the past the SME. Now we can say, okay, we are already a bigger company with more than 14,000 employees. So of course we already a bigger size. But as you said, the SMEs or the Mittelstand is a very important backbone in Germany for the industry. And I think most of you also think about German products and companies. You think about quality standard, and you need or you think about high-end technology. So of course we are well known about engineering. So many innovations from the Mittelstand, from the SME, came from the engineering perspective. We have very good engineers in Germany, and we basically, I must say, I think oftentimes we like to develop new technologies and we want to make it 100%, or even we want to improve again and again and again, and we want to find the perfect and a very good solution. And this drives maybe our mindset for innovation, and gives every day a new motivation to work on it and to focus on the direction in your product or in your business and your innovation. And then the very important thing about the SMEs is, they start maybe from a family business. Yeah? Trumpf is also still a family-owned business. Yeah? So this also gives us a lot of stability and independency from other directions, from other shareholders or from change in the ownership of the company. And this stability we also have in the SMEs and in the Mittelstand. Usually it belongs first to a family business, and then you grow and you expand your business, and you extend it first maybe to your network, to your family. This I see the same in Vietnam. So I think maybe this this backbone of the SMEs is also a very suitable concept for the further development of the Vietnamese economy. So I think I see for our customers here also in the SME sector, I see oftentimes the same setting than in Germany. And then of course important for the Mittelstand, for the SMEs, is that they are oftentimes called like a hidden champion, or they are working in a niche where they are focusing on. So they have a clear vision, maybe based on some patents they have on the technology, and then they have a clear vision and a clear strategy how to develop this into the future. And this, I think, is important message from my side. This concept, maybe you know from Michael E. Porter, quite famous in strategic management, is stuck in the middle. If you're stuck in the middle, you have no clear direction, so you will not you will not be on one side to win. So I think this concept goes, of course, into the details, but important is not stuck in the middle, focus on one direction, and this is where I think that these the SMEs and the Mittelstand basically can do it quite well. And then finally, a third thing, advantage of SMEs in the area of innovation is bringing things into action and bringing things to decision. You need to be fast oftentimes to have a successful innovation, because you are in competition, as we already heard. You are in a competition, so it also means you need to be faster. And in innovation processes, sometimes you need to decide which technology you will focus on and you will follow, and which technology you have to give up, because you see maybe some competitor already on another way. So you focus again on your way, that you can be ahead in this direction. And I think this is, these are some reasons from my perspective what makes a Mittelstand, or especially engineering companies in the Mittelstand and SME, so successful. And I see the same development here in Vietnam with a lot of potential.
Yeah, thank you for your sharing. So we have a very long history of SME in Germany. This is also a lesson for SME in Vietnam. Thank you for your sharing, Mr. Patrick Chemnitz. Now we go back to Mr. Huỳnh Thanh Trung. So as a chairman of a young company, so we can say the SME, okay? Would you share the strategy for developing the innovation and digitalization of your company in Vietnam?
Yes, and my company also a small company to consulting for the production and the factory setup in furniture industry, garment, and machining industry. So we had the strategy to increase the innovation process in the company and the factory. The first, we based on the culture of the company. So because you know, for the one company, we have the line of people. We have the body and the soul. The body lies the machine, the facility, and the infrastructure. And in order to make an innovation in the company, we need to start from the system and the human power to change the mindset first. And after that, as the Patrick mentioned, we need to choose the way as the technology or the facility or the machine or the method to make the better result in your company, to better than the competitors in the market. After that, we need to verify the which process we need to improve and make the innovate. And after that, we will improve and innovate step by step for each process. Because if you know, for the enterprise, we maybe we cannot innovate the whole processes in the factory or the company. We need to make the short-term and the long-term plan to change from the each factors. It's like there's the rule, the principle like 4M: man, method, machine, and measurement. We need to change step by step. For something, if we want to change the innovation culture, we have to change the manpower mindset first. And for the method, we have to change the management way. It's like, for example, some SME company, they just use the Excel software or they just record the data in the data sheets. So they don't have enough the data, the real time and the digitalized system to record the real time data. So if they want to apply the innovation and the digitalization, they need to change the way to record the small data, everyday data, daily data. And after that, they have the bigger data to analyze, to measure the result before and after innovation. So, for example, when change the method of a company, we also apply the step by step. You have to make the long-term plan. And you know, innovation is not a short-term process. It's a long-term process, and very long-term and continuously. Yeah, every day we need to make step by step to change the whole company. That is our solution to support the SME company as my company also. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for your sharing a lot of valuable information that the audience can learn from the innovation from the company Linwares. So let's go back with Mr. Brian O'Reilly. So what can Vietnamese SME do to innovate and grow? Because we have a large portion of the SME and now we want to go global. So what we can do to innovate and grow?
Okay, well, I think my two colleagues here have talked about 2 points that are very, very important. And one is to focus on what you really can do well in your area of knowledge and expertise. And of course, the corporate culture, which comes from the top down. You need to have the right leadership in the organization. If you want to have an innovative organization, you have to bring the right people in. And whilst we talk about technical skills and people skills, which are very, very important, innovation is about doing things differently or new. So you need to be able to get people who are very creative and are looking at things and trying to look at different angles on things to find ways of doing it a bit better. Technology is important, and we've got some really good examples in Vietnam, but of course I think the best example for me, and I've been in Vietnam 20 years, is the Honda or motorbike taxi. Who would have ever thought 15 years ago that was going to be a high-tech business? And now you can see that with the use of technology and changing a few processes and systems, now you've basically got a very, very different business model. And of course, traditional taxis complained, but they were getting left behind because they couldn't see these opportunities. I think also I think Vietnamese companies should, of course, look at intellectual property rights. If you're developing something new and different, does it need to be protected? And there are laws in Vietnam for that. And I think also maybe, again, depending on what sort of industry you're in, maybe you should look at spending more on research and development, cooperating with universities who have got the faculty and students who may be able to help through research in universities. So you have to have a very different mindset. And Patrick talked about what happens in Germany. Well, study what happens in Germany, study what happens in other countries as well. Don't reinvent the wheel. Try and pick what's happening in other countries and see if you can apply that in your business in Vietnam.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Brian O'Reilly. We received one question from audience, and we would like to send it to Mr. Huỳnh Thành Trung. So the question like that I know you have a very successful career. Why you choose to open a company in the field that often dominated by a foreign company, like livingwares? Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I have the experience in the manufacturing, and I have a chance to study and visit the huge company in the steel industry, in the Bosco factory in the Corinth. So I have a chance to visit the complex industry for the steel and almost the automation and almost the digitalisation since 2008. And when I work for the Bosco Group in the 5 years, I study a lot about manufacturing management. And other time I have a chance to work for the chip Breadland to audit many the factories around over 500 factories in many industries around Vietnam. So I have a chance to know the current condition of the manufacturing in Vietnam. So when I visit the American factories and the German factories, I see everything is very modern and professional. And after that, I visit the Vietnamese company. There's a very big difference in the working condition and in the working result between the Vietnamese and the foreign company. So I see the opportunity to have the SME companies to increase their competencies, their performance, to approach the global market. So that is why I try to found my company and start entrepreneurship to make the business to support the SME company in Vietnam. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for your enthusiasm. So let's back to the next section. A study over 2,000 innovation released by major companies, only 4% produced a profit. To sum up, 96% of innovation failed. So how to set up a right innovation process to improve the probability of success in SMEs is a big concern. So Mr. Brian O'Reilly, would you share your recommended reasons why many innovation fail?
Well, first of all, I think you have to look at define failure. But if you want to be an innovative company, you're going to get some things wrong. It's hard enough to get it right when you're doing the normal day-to-day operations. So you have to accept failure, but always learn from every time you fail and ask yourself, what could I have done new or differently? But you'd also want to minimize or mitigate the failure, and I think it's important that companies and the leaders in the companies understand the environment in which their industry operates and really gets to know that environment. And you have to try and look into the future a bit, have not so much a vision, but to look at what is coming from out there that could have an impact, and to be able to change for that, to take that into consideration. And I mentioned before about the taxi services in Vietnam. Well, this happened around the world, not just in Vietnam. The traditional companies got left behind because they didn't make use of the changing environment, which was this new technology which the customers were going to embrace and use. It made it easier for people to travel. The same happened in the hotel industry, and of course Amazon made a big change in the industry with books and things like that. So that's important. I think, again, going back, we talked about focus the market. You need to do research on your market. You need to look at the demand, the changes in demand, and you want to make innovation a priority, so that you stay at least with your competitors, if not ahead of your competitors. Because if you're not looking at the opportunities out there to be able to bring in new technology or systems or business models, and your competitors are, you're suddenly going to get left behind. So I think that's mainly it. But you do have to be, in the modern world, things change very, very quickly. And as a business leader, you have to be very aware of that, and you have to see what's coming and try and adapt to the changing environment.
Yeah, thank you for your sharing, Mr. Brian O'Reilly. So, Mr. Patrick Chemnitz, as an experienced businessman in Germany and in Vietnam, would you please kindly explain the reasons why many innovations could not reach the target?
Yes. Of course, we know these studies and these analyses about innovation process and how many can reach the target, to be a successful innovation, and this complicated question. This is why there is so much research about it. Everybody wants to find it out, how to be successful. It's like you want to know the numbers for the lottery before it goes on. So no, but I think from my side, I want to stress three main reasons from my perspectives, or three factors you have to include. First, again, the customers. I think we study in the last years a lot of new innovation processes where you integrate the customer already in your process to find a new innovation, a new product. This is in many fields of industries well known. In the B2C business, let's say, you integrate the end customer, give them some trial products, and you get some feedback, and you integrate it again, and you have these loops. This is, I think, already well known. In the B2B business, or where it is where you have a longer innovation cycles, where it takes longer time to innovate something. Of course, it is you have not so many feedback loops from a mass of customers. So there's a little bit different approach. But I think we already agree on that in integrating the customer in the process to have a successful innovation is not too bad. You have some feedback loop. The second is one level different is the partner. So you not develop alone. We talk oftentimes now about SME and innovation, but that doesn't mean that you are alone. You don't need to do it by yourself only. You can integrate also partners into your innovation. And this can help, because a partner can become also a future customer. This is also from Trump's side. When I look back on some of our products and innovations, we did it with partners, and it took very long time. We are well known for laser technology and many kind of applications of this technology, using the laser to doing many sophisticated things. So of course we need a partner sometimes to develop this over many years, that we also know this partner can become maybe a customer and has a need for this technology. Basically, we develop this together. We listen, and we know, okay, some applications we have to access, and then we can think, okay, are we able to do it? Can we think that we could innovate this? Do we feel confident in it? And then we go the way. We go the way together with a partner. So the second, beside the customer, is a partner. The partnering, I think, is becoming more important also in the innovation process. Not only in business models where it is about partnering, it's also in the innovation process. And then the third is are the employees. Yeah? All the team members you have. This we also practice now since several years in our Trumpf group. We have a certain program for our employees. If they have ideas how to find new innovation in the business model, of course we stress the topic of the business model innovation. It's not just the product idea, it's the whole concept. Then we have a program where our employees can apply for, and they get some time to develop this idea. They get support from Trumpf to bring it to a real business and to a real innovation, to bring it into success. And of course, as a company, you have also your employees to look, and they have every day they have many ideas. So you can look around where to find innovation and how to bring it to a success story. So of course, finally, you need someone behind this innovation who brings it forward and who has really a vision to bring it into success. If you don't have someone who pushes it forward, then the best idea will maybe lay in the corner on a paper and nobody picks it up. So this is, I think, if you have the right drivers, and from my side there are these three, again, the customer for sure, partners, and of course also the employees having a lot of potential for innovations. And these are maybe some reasons why some innovations have more success or less success or bring it to the end. I guess there are many others, but this is a little bit from my perspective, the sharing.
Yes, thank you for your sharing with Patrick Kemet. So Mr. Hun Tan Trung, would you share your experience on implementing strategy of innovation in Linware?
Yes. In my experience in my company, before we start the innovations, the first step, we have the training and sharing for my employees for some best practice and the best case study from the other companies and other view for all my members to understand why we need to make an innovation. I often say like that, if we want to go from the Ho Chi Minh City to Hanoi, there are many ways to go, like the bicycle, like the motorbike, like the car, or like a train or airplane. So we need to decide which way is the optimal and the best way for us. Because if we just we have to we just go as the motorbike, but now the competitor they go by train or by car, by airplane. If we try to use the motorbike, we cannot make the competition with them, with the competitor. So we have the training and coaching to open the mind and to change the mindset of all the employees in the company. And second, after they know the reason why they need to change, they need to make the innovation to be survival. So after that, we have to make the detailed plan. Have to change the process first, because finally a business model, we need to satisfy the client's requirements, and we have to decide which guys of the requirements, and have to make the measure. For example, now the clients, they want to make the best solution for them, like the productivity, quality, delivery time, and cost, and how to we meet their requirements in our process. So we try to change the system, how to reduce the lead time, how to reduce and eliminate the waste, and to make the optimal system first. And after that, after we change the system, after that we apply some technology. I think technology like the tools, the way to change our the working way, to meet our target. Yeah, that is an experience to change and to apply the innovation in my team. And every day we think and we forward the client, the requirements. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for a valuable sharing, Mr. Huân and Trung. So we have the question from audience want to ask Mr. Patrick Chemness. Because you are a very experienced man in business, so the question like this: instead of innovation, the Vietnamese SME now it just want to copycat from the SME or successful business in the world. Is it right?
Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah. Instead of innovate, I mean that the company want to innovate. They want instead of innovation. So now what Vietnamese SME want to do now? We copy. Yes,
okay.
Copy.
Yes.
From the model, copycat from the model or any successful implementation. Yeah, from many successful business in the world.
Yeah.
Is it right for SME now?
I think this is an important topic, and I had it also on my list. I made a note. I think what is the advantage about our topic today for the SMEs here in Vietnam is if you focus on the local market here in Vietnam or in Southeast Asia, this is already, let's say, a USP, a strength. Many years ago, when I still was at university, I made one study in China together with Tongji University, and we analyzed how the companies set up their research and development in China. And of course, this is already many years ago. At this time already they moved more and more R&D to China, and this was a quite critical topic. Shall we do it or shall we not do it? So bring this topic now to the SMEs in Vietnam. What is the strengths? The understanding of the needs. Yeah. Of course, oftentimes we bring maybe a concept or model from somewhere else and we want to bring it maybe to Vietnam, and it will fail. Why? We absolutely don't listen to the local conditions and to the behavior, and to how people adopt new products or new businesses. And this you can understand as a strength. Yeah. I see many business models working well here, for example, in Vietnam, all around using the mobile applications and so on. And this would never work in Germany or in Western countries. And vice versa, we have the same. So, and this is, again, maybe a trigger where SMEs can look for, is we call it so-called leapfrogging. I like this concept of leapfrogging. So you use some advanced technology to make a step ahead, and to leapfrog other older technologies. And this happened in Vietnam already in the past, because all people, or nearly all, have like a mobile phone or a smartphone today. And we have here in Vietnam, we have a better telecommunication system than in Germany, if I can say this. Of course, we had the landline, and we developed the infrastructure with telephone by landline and also for the internet. And here in Vietnam, we leapfrogged this step. And I see also, people everywhere, also in the land side, we can use the iPhone or the smartphone very well. So this enables, again, business models. So payment methods by mobile phone adopted much faster than in other countries. And if I see the delivery business models for food or other products, also is working here very well. In other countries would not work. These are things, I think, around copying or thinking about how to use the strengths and innovate a model which is really useful and valuable. And I see there's a lot of potential. This is, I think, why the Vietnamese market is now so interesting for many foreign companies, but also for many businessmen starting their business or businesswomen. and having ideas to set up something new. And this is, I guess, in Vietnam, has the best precondition for this. So many young people, the average of the population, the age is quite young, but 30, 31, maybe now 32, something like this. So there is a lot of new things to explore with new business models. And this I see as a strength. And yeah, we also have the big or the huge examples like VinFast. Yeah, they set up their business. Of course, they have also, if you look into each product, they have the innovation. Yeah, from outside it sounds like, okay, is a car manufacturer or e-scooter manufacturer, we know this. No, if you look into the whole concept, of course, you see the innovations for first local market, now they go to other markets, US, Australia, want to export. Yeah. And here right next to VGU, today I've seen next to the campus also one very innovative business model I read is DAT bikes, DAT bikes. They manufacture this e-bikes. Also very interesting idea, adopt things, of course very suitable also for solving problems like air pollution, bringing out the air pollution from the city center and using e-bikes. These are ideas need to grow up and will bring value add what is needed for innovation.
Yeah, thank you a lot for your very valuable sharing. So one key factor of success SMEs is human resources. Innovative SME need innovative people. The Vietnamese-German University have developed a high-quality workforce through its MBA program. So, Mr. Brian O'Reilly, would you share the curriculum of MBA program and what is the focus of the program?
Well, the focus of the MBA, we're actually going to have two programs in the coming year, but the focus of the MBA is on developing leaders and managers for the future and develop them in a practical way, not a theoretical way, so they can actually go back into the workforce and operate at a higher level. We have what's called, in either of the programs, we currently have a program at Leipzig University which actually focuses on small to medium enterprises, and we are introducing a program with Heilbronn University which focuses on general management but also includes a component of innovation and entrepreneurship. So there are 2+2 programs, which means you do 2 semesters with the Vietnamese-German University and you do 2 semesters with the German University. I'll just give you some aspects of the curriculum. Of course, we have got marketing. So, of course, we mentioned earlier you need to know your market to be able to be successful in business. So that's a good introduction to doing market research, developing your target markets, looking at the needs of your markets. More specifically, we've got a component called entrepreneurship, which looks at doing a business, developing a business plan for your business, but also includes a simulation game where you actually have to, in teams, go on a computer and work out how to run a business in simulation, and it's a lot more difficult than people might think. And of course we do have innovation management, which is looking at how you can look at developing new ideas for business, and this is supplemented by one other module which is business design thinking, which brings in the critical thinking aspect of how do you have to think about a business, about designing a business to be successful. And in the end of all of that, you do have a thesis, and that thesis can be, it can cover a range of areas, but many of our students are looking at trying to develop through the thesis new and different ways of doing a business, particularly maybe looking at opportunities between Vietnam and Germany. So just to wrap it up, there's quite a few areas. We have got people from many different backgrounds involved in the MBA, including guest speakers, such as the gentleman here. And of course, to summarize it, it is very practically focused to develop the leaders and managers of the future.
Yeah, thank you for providing the curriculum and the focus of the MBA program. And my next question is for Mr. Huỳnh Thanh Trung. As a student of MBA program, would you share your experience with the VGU MBA program and the benefit for your work now.
Yeah. And I have founded my companies in 2015 to start the entrepreneurship for the support the manufacturing companies. And during the working, I see there's a lot of things to need to study more to support the SME enterprise in Vietnam. So before the start to study the SME development program in the VGU, and I found and I study about the program 2 years before in 2016, and until the 2018 I start study in the VGU. And during the studying, I had the experience to know the methods and many the know-how to operate a business. And for example, for the strategy, for the design thinking, for the supply chain, for the marketing. So during the studying, I applied for myself company to restructure, design my business model, and I applied that knowledge to my company, and also I support many the SME companies to apply some know-how and the knowledge. I choose the SME development program because I know that in Vietnam there are around 98% of the companies are the SME enterprise. So my company also the SME the companies. So when we study in the VGU, I have the chance to apply many models, the many knowledge in my company right now. And at present, my company basically the complete the business model, and we have the plan, we have the KPI, we have the solution to develop the better and better. So it's very useful and helpful the program, not only for my company, but also for my SME clients. Yeah, and so I think the SAP program is very useful. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for your sharing, Mr. Huan Thanh Trung. I believe that VGU MBA have a lot of benefit for your startup now.
Yeah.
Yes. So, Mr. Patrick, there will be more SME in Vietnam, and absolute will be more business leader. Could you please give some advice for the future SME leaders in Vietnam?
Giving advice is hard, but I think first of all, VGU offers a very good environment. Yeah, so if you want to prepare for this, I think VGU is a good place to be. As Brian already mentioned, we also work from our company side with students from VGU closely together, and I must say I really appreciated this as a first statement. The second is maybe again a bit focused on what does it mean for your daily work to find innovations or to work and bring your innovations to success. I think important is to have the passion for what you are doing. If you are a business owner and have your own business, then I think it's quite clear. You know every day what you are doing, but this is maybe not every time the case, or it will become bigger and bigger, your organization, so then you also has to adopt a bit, but of course you need to have a clear passion and a vision to do something. And then also what I would give into this is if you look on why you do something for the innovation process, this is more important than what finally comes out. If you have your mindset to bring something forward, and you have an idea, and you have also some resources for sure. You need to think about everything around. You need to have also the funding for innovation for sure. Yeah, but if you look around and provide everything that you can work on your innovation, then it's important that you focus on why you are doing this, not so on what. Because at the beginning of the innovation process, I think it's not clear what comes out at the end. If it would be already clear from the beginning, then we would all know it. This is, I think, the challenge, to go a longer way. Also, to have a long-term orientation. It's not, some innovations come up immediately, and you have an idea, and then this idea was also the right, and you bring it into action. Of course, can happen. But usually, especially I can say again from a technology company, it takes time. It takes, you also need to fail, as Brian said. It happens. Mistakes happen and you fail, but then you need to stand up again and search for a new solution. So you need to have also a long-term orientation of your project, why you do it. This is, I think, important not only for innovation from my side. I would say it's important for all things we do, but for innovation, I think maybe even more.
Yeah, thank you for your sharing with the Patrick Guinness. So we have received many questions, but the time for this program is limited. I would like to express my sincere thanks for three guests today again. And for more information about MBA program, please access www.vgu.vm. Otherwise, please contact us via mobile phone hotline 0988 545254. And thank you to see, and we would like to see you again in the next live stream. Thank you.